Derrick Henry, running back 5 last year. He had 303 rushes, 1,540 yards, 16 touchdowns, only 18 receptions, 24 targets for
Kid's
206
good.
yards.
Shocker.
Henry's a beast. He has shown that the way he ended 2018, the way he ran through 2019. Yes, maybe he got a little bit tired in the playoffs because of the workload he had, but that team needed him, and he understood that, and he fulfilled his obligation to that team, no question. The guy has tons of wiggle. He has a very deceiving, explosive burst that allows him to fly past the secondary. And don't forget, as we saw in 2018, he can stiff arm the hell out of some Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't see him top 5 just due to his lack of receptions. If you're playing PPR, if you're playing standard, absolutely. If you're playing PPR, I do see him just outside of the top 5. But generally, you can get him with a lot of the run that's going on right now. You can get him at running back 8 or 9 almost in some leagues. So the value's there early on in the draft. If you're going 2 RBs to start, you're able to pick up someone. Maybe you can get a Dalvin Cook, and then on the comeback, you get a Derrick Henry because guys are looking at other edge. And that's a monster. Yeah, that's a monster start. I'd take that any day.
I am not high on Derrick Henry. I think there are other options out there that have a little more tread on the tires than what Derrick Henry has to offer. And then you have to keep in mind the contract and all all that stuff. So I stay away from Derrick Henry. I think he's a good running back, but I'm not buying stock in him. I'm looking elsewhere when my time comes up and there's Derrick Henry on the board. I'm looking, maybe it's something else.
That's all right. Actually, I'll give you a would you rather. So love playing this game. Would you rather, right? Backs that have kind of similar roles with guys that are going to handle a lot of passing work and guys that are going to be primarily they handle the ball and they run and they get lots and lots of yards, right? So would you rather have Nick Chubb or Derrick Henry this year?
I'm going to say Nick Chubb because I'm a Georgia homer and I can't get away from my Bulldogs. But man, oh man, to be saddled with that question, Derrick Henry's probably going to finish better, but I would probably play the fool with my heart and draft Nick Chubb.
Here's why I think I lean with Nick Chubb is, and I don't like taking players on the Cleveland Browns either, but why I go with Nick Chubb is Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski knows how to handle a running back. He did it in Minnesota. He knows how to use a feature back like that.
That was Kubiak, actually.
Well, yeah, okay. We all know about Kubiak. But Stefanski definitely took some notes with him on his way out the door, I'm sure.
I would hope so.
But that's how, I think Chubb has a little bit more value that way than Derrick Henry because of a coach that will understand how to use him in a scheme and fit that. But again, as we've said many, many times on this podcast, there are a ton of mouths to feed at Cleveland, and I don't know how many mouths they'll get fed. So those two, I think I still lean towards Chubb, but I mean, that is really tough.
Right, and that's one of those that's part of the reason I threw that out there. The similar roles, you'll see a similar workload, probably a similar production, but that's one of those that just kind of give you that comparison of would you rather, because Nick Chubb's typically going off the board, kind of that running back 7, whereas Henry's, a couple of picks behind him. So even ADP, they're really close, and it gives you some contrast as far as some value there.